Well, hello and welcome to another part of our review of 2020. We're catching up with all our contributors through the year, and one of our most popular contributors was Murphy. Mert, welcome to another morning here on Zoom talking to us. You're after spending a couple of days in the capital. You were watching your beloved Kerry in action in Croke Park. No luck on this occasion, but good to be up in Dublin, but I'm sure you're happy to be back in Kerry where your heart belongs.
Absolutely, yeah. It was good to see what Dublin and what G4 get up to up there. The peace and quiet though of Croke Park, without any crowd, it was eerie. It was surreal, really. And seeing the Limerick hurlers, just seeing mountain of men. Really, the physical toning and the way they can play the game now has gone to a new level. And of course, Kerry, just on the day, just things didn't work out. 2 points, but still great progression, and it was a fabulous occasion. Stayed in Dublin Saturday and Sunday night just to see what the city was like, and I tell you, the happiest moment was heading down again when I hit the border and into Kerry, saw the mountains, saw the rain, felt the rain. It was something else. But yeah, great weekend.
You can't beat mountains and rain, Mert. You can't beat mountains and rain. Listen,
No,
we asked you to pick out two moments from the year. Let's get it started. Where do you want to start off, Mert?
Yeah, well, I think here in Tralee in particular, I think the Juvenile Classic, since it started back in 2006, and actually Droopy's Deco was the first winner of it. It was Nicola Downs, I think, that trained Droopy's Deco. She won the first one back in 2006, and we had it. Mike Cronin, I think, sponsored for the first 4 years. Then Dennis Murphy came on board with Galvin Murphy, Hooper, Dolan. They did at least 10, and this year it was Greyhound and Pet World, great supporters of Greyhound racing, and what an event we had. And it has been an event that's thrown up some absolutely brilliant greyhounds. Last year, it was 2019, it was won by Toolmaker Daddy. The year before that was Ballymac Bulger. That was the first time Liam won it. And this year, my highlight obviously is the final, Ballymac Wild winning that, and unbelievably at 6-1. Now, earlier in the competition, some of the quality greyhounds that were in that was unbelievable when you see what has happened subsequently. Coulivanny Chick in the opening round won the opening heat, 29.04. And we see what Coulivanny Chick did in the English Derby. And subsequently, Dearjet Sydney won the second heat. That'll tell you the class that was in it. And we know what Dearjet Sydney did. You had Knock the Ball Sid, only second in his heat, Deadly Missile. Ballymac Reese won. Ballymac Wild was third in the opening night, by the way. And then you had the likes of Glengar Bale, only fifth in the opening round, was one of the fastest fifths. And Epic Hero was behind him, went out. And Epic Hero obviously won the Ledger. So that's the first round. Priceless Jet won the final heat the first night. Even in the first night, and big Rockburst Mike, of course, has been a very consistent greyhound. Ballymac Wild did win his second round heat, so at least he had a win. And we had a dead heat in third place in the second heat that night between Ballymac Reese and Priceless Jet. So the same night, JT Japan, Paul Hennessy's, won heat 3 that night, and Coulivanny Chick went out the second night. And then the quarterfinals, Glengar Bale was a very good winner for Pat Buckley. Won his semi-final as well, where Ballymac Wild was only third. And Deadly Missile won the other semi-final. And Dearjet Sydney was only third. But the lineup for the final was something else. And you have to hand it to somebody like Liam Dowling. Liam's first greyhound, was Renard By. He worked, both of us came to Kerry Group at the same time. I was a trainee accountant. He was the manager of a farm, a pig farm back in Carsavine. And there's a place there, you might have heard the song Born Shroda. It's a song that Kerrymen sing when they have a lot of drink in them. Okay?
We don't see them too often in Dublin anymore, the Kerrymen,
Well, listen, we were there so often and singing it in the 70s and 80s. that we lost our voices, so we don't bother going anymore. And anyway, everything's behind closed doors now, as you know. The smugness, I wish it was the Exile Dublin Cork that we had, at least our Barry Drake about Yahal, but now you're having your go. But anyway, you're entitled to. By the way, I think he'll do 10 in a row. Anyway, back to the Greyhounds and Declan Dowling. Liam Dowling. Renard Boy was his first Greyhound. He bought this Greyhound, and he got this Greyhound from his dad. And his dad was known as John Killicle Dowling, as everybody knows. And he was called Killicle. That was where he came from, because in 1955, when Kerry beat the Dubs, the captain of the Kerry team was John Dowling from Cairns Club Strand Road, and everybody got him mixed up, so he became John Killicle Dowling. But Liam was bitten by a brood bitch when he was very young across the yard, so you could say, I suppose, he got the bug from that. He went into the farm management side, but he got these two dogs, which he brought to a small house in Barnashrada. Renard Boy was the name of the Greyhound, and he won the Benson Hedges in 1983, I think it was, in Tralee. Now, it was £1,000 at the time, which was a lot of money, and he was offered 5,000 for the Greyhound, and he wouldn't sell. He was hoping that he'd win the Derby, and he prepared him for the Derby, got injured, and missed the sale, missed the Derby, and that taught him, he said, a life lesson, that when he had a good dogs, he would sell, because you never know, injury, and you ask a fair price, you don't ask too big a price. And the same thing happened in
you're just breaking up a little bit there, Mert.
It was Blonde Slippy that actually good Greyhounds that he has today.
Are you still there?
Am I back? I'm back, yeah.
You're back, Mert. You're back. Apologies.
Are we back?
We lost you there for a moment or two. The broadband in Kerry not as great as it was back in the day.
No, it's the mountains and the rain. But having said that, Blonde Slippy was, if you look at Blonde Return, Ballymac Vic, all the Greyhounds came after, they were all related to Blonde Slippy. And there's a little memorial, kind of a tomb or a monument on the way into his place in Ballyfedora and Ballymac with Blonde Slippy in it. That'll tell you he moved there in 1992-93 and took it up full time. And a lot of people wonder why we didn't see him in the north. He's now winning a lot of big races, etc. But he will always tell you he was selling at that time. He wasn't keeping his good dogs, right? And it was then when he had the place, which is a fantastic kennels out in establishment out in Ballyfedora and Ballymac. When he was able to have that paid for, etc., he then got into racing them, and we had the Ballymac Vicks, and we had Ballymac Matt, obviously, winning the Derby in 2015. He was only fifth in this Juvenile Classic final as well. But Ballymac Wild was special on that night. And I'd heard, early, you hear so many rumours, as whispers yourself, but I heard of all the Greyhounds that he had in that he kind of fancied Ballymac Wild, but he'd won one of the heats in the rounds coming up to it and hadn't actually, shown his true self. Obviously only a pup, but he won the final by an incredible 7 lengths, 28-23. He flew from traps, was never seen. Duhala Prince was in second place. JT Japan finished third, and Dear Jet Sydney was only fourth. And it was, I think it was JT Japan from the inside that moved off the opening bend, and that caused the favourite, Glengar Bale, who was a 5-4 shot, to be knocked over at the opening bend. And obviously, subsequently, he got up, raced on, and we know what he's been doing since. But Ballymac Wild, special, and he's still there. He's back in the Kingdom Derby at the moment, and still going strong. Was in the Derby final, and it was something else for Liam to have a Greyhound like Ballymac Wild. and listening to your chats along the way, yourself and Tommy and Barry, etc. Ballymac Wilds is a greyhound that has improved, shown improvement, and in any given night. And I think the one thing about Liam's dogs, they're so clever. The tracking they do. Ballymac Anton, I mean, that fella, I reckon, has a computer in his head and he senses trouble. And, a lot of his dogs are like that. They'll wait. They'll be crowding at the opening bend and then slip down the inside. The next thing, at the third bend, they're in front and they're gone. And a lot of them stay very well as well. Ballymac Wild, excellent, still there. Young enough greyhound. He's only 2 years plus, 2.5 years. So I'd be saying, the best of him is to come yet.
Yeah, big dog to look forward to in 2021. What's your second highlight of the year, Mert? Because you've only got 4 minutes.
Well, I knew I don't talk a lot, so you knew that you were going to have problems with the clock. I knew Dawn might break, and she might allow me a little bit longer, but it has to be Pestana. Look, Pestana was sort of... Pestana, by the way, never raced a trial even in Tralee. Was bought by Disgrace from Liam Dowling as a pup, went straight to Owen McKenna. And early doors, I think I heard you discussing it before Christmas. Early doors, it hadn't impressed that much. Actually, the first race he won was a sprint, as far as I remember. But once it came to Derby time after the lockdown, he really came into his own. And by God, had he early gears, blazed from traps. And in the second round heat of the Derby, went unbeaten until right all the way to the final, obviously, of the Derby. But Pestana, what a greyhound! The way he just blitzed from traps on that night in August. I know you were commentating, and you got very excited, as you generally do. And when you see a good dog, and it's the one thing I like about you, Ian, is that despite the fact you don't like Kerry people, you have
love Kerry people, Mert. I love Kerry people. I also love getting a bit of stick from Kerry people, so don't worry about it.
I know the banter is very important, but no, I say that in jest. But what I mean is that Ballymac Ariel has been exciting you as a real star. And the night he ran, and I could beat Newen Taylor, the eventual winner of the Derby, by 3.5 lengths that night was some achievement for Owen McKenna and for Disgrace. What happened in the final was so unfortunate for Disgrace in particular, because he was really, social media played such an important part during the lockdown, and after it, I think it's here to stay. And both Orla and Dawn have been doing wonderful work, and I think the game now, greyhound racing has been, it's caught the imagination of the public, and people are asking me down here from the southern part of the county who wouldn't know very much about greyhounds, asking about different greyhounds, Ballymacs, Pestanas, the Derby. And they're really caught on to Des, who of course had a great history with greyhounds, good greyhounds and greyhounds, and he's a fantastic character. His dad Joe was a solicitor in Tralee. He's an accountant, but he's a lovely guy, and very superstitious, staying in the same hotel, walking to the ground, all the different things when he could. It's great that he's back again now with a great name. That he's headed a syndicate there with 6 or 7 Limas involved in that as well, and they're in the semi-final as we speak of the Kingdom Derby. And I think he'll be back with a good greyhound again. And of course, the end of the story was a brilliant run, beat the 29 seconds. I mean, that's them going around Shelbourne. A lot better than me, but I mean, watching him that night was like watching Hamilton with his in a Grand Prix, just taking somebody out and just blitzing them. It was incredible pace, but I think he captured the imagination, Pestana, and as I said, regrettable what happened But great that he's now enjoying himself at stud. It's been a happy ending, and it's amazing. And the dog that beat him, Newen Taylor, is in the same boat, and he's recovering for the Hollands. The Riverside Kennels. Hopefully everything will work out there, and he'll be at stud shortly as well. So, you know, it was a year that was difficult because of COVID, but it was a year of many highlights. And Pestana during the Derby lit up the country, lit up Tralee, lit up Kerry, and I think there was general admiration for the quality of the Greyhound. And overall, I think at the moment, you know, there are so many good trainers and there's so many good races. The quality of our bitches is so strong at the moment that I think this is one I'm involved since about 1997. Although I was involved with Liam Downing with the Greyhound back in the day. I think I went to back the Greyhound. His dad trained him. He didn't arrive. I had my money down. The Greyhound was 5th or 6th. And I think he set me up, but I forgive him. We didn't reach any Derby final with this particular Greyhound. But anyway, I think it's been a wonderful year for Greyhound racing, considering particularly the COVID and all the behind closed doors. And but I think that the industry will get stronger. I think we go from strength to strength. And I think this year and next year we've so many good Greyhounds to look forward to. And I do think that the Ballymac prefix will be pretty high on the agenda. And when you're calling home the Derby next year, I expect you to be calling home a Ballymac in front, because if we can't beat you at the football, I have decided that the best thing to do then is beat you with our Greyhounds. And that will probably soften your cough, as they say down here, a small bit, Ian.
It might just do that, Mert. Listen, there are two great highlights. Ballymac Wild winning Juvenile Derby and Pestana smashing the clock at Shelburne Park with a 550-yard trip. Thanks, Mert. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2021 when hopefully Dublin will be going for 7 on the trot. Good luck and God bless.
Okay, good luck, Ian. And thanks very much.
Mert. Cheers, lad.
5 who leads from 6. They pulled well clear after terrible trouble at the opening bend, and Ballymac Wild, after a really good start, leads by 2 or 3 lengths over 6. Big gap back to the rest between these two Greyhounds as they come towards the final bend. Trap 5, Ballymac Wild out in front by 3 lengths over 6 to Anna Prince. 1 2 on 3rd position. They won't get called this leader. Trap 5 doing it from 6 and 1. Instant had trouble at the first bend. 5. Ballymac Wild, the winner of the Juvenile Classic final in a very, very quick time at 28.23.
And there is the bell. The runners for Heat 9 of the Derby. In 1, Pestana. 2, Waikiki Kino. 2, Virden. In 3, we have 2, Maker Daddy. 4 is 5, Newen Taylor. And 6 is Slippy Keen. Break all important. Racing, good start by Pestana. He never misses the kick. Flashes up the fence and is going to clear into the corner. From in second spot, Trap 5, Newen Taylor showing devastating early, but out front, and it is Pestana on by 3 lengths to 5, Newen Taylor. A gap in third to 2, Waikiki Kino, but Pestana clear to the third bend, 16.83. An incredible third bend split. Newen Taylor trying his very best to bridge the gap in second, but Pestana is surely home and hosed and wins well. From in second, 5, Newen Taylor. A very encouraging run by him. Back in third was 2, Waikiki Kino. We've seen the record broken. The first Greyhound ever to break 29 seconds for 550 yards in Ireland. Pestana. Sensational.